Hi, Steve Bystrom from GSX again, here to talk about new features, continuation of the series of the new features of version 10 of GSX Monitor and GSX Analyzer. Specifically today, we're going to talk about Microsoft platforms, and even more specifically, Exchange 2003, 2007, and 2010, including some of the expanded server roles like DAG and CAS. We'll show you some of those features in the main product. Let's go take a look right now. Okay, so for most of you, I'm guessing many of you are our customers already. Of course, you're used to the main view of GSX Monitor, which gives admins a real-time dashboard of their whole world. Here we have multiple columns of servers, if this is new to you, and the different warning lights tell us something about the condition of those servers. So why don't we just go talk about what that looks like for a moment. Here's the properties where we can change the colors of each of these servers, and green is up, red is down, yellow is some sort of warning, and here in this case, if an Exchange cluster is down, we go to this purple color. If you don't like that, you can pick a color of any kind that you might happen to want to use. But that's what these warning lights are essentially telling us. Green is good, red is bad. So is the server up, and are the particular services that we're wanting to monitor working properly? By the way, I'm going to concentrate on 2010 servers because it encompasses everything that we do on 2003 and 2007 and add some additional things for the other server role types, and we'll talk about those. So here, as you see, we have a column for CAS, and if we mouse over this, we see that the last scan occurred at some date and time, and that the CAS is indeed up. And then is the mailbox, or is the DAG and the mail servers that make up that DAG up? So in this case, the DAG is up. This server is sitting in a mailbox role of DAG. It's up, and it's also got 4 copies, and we know they're all good. And then the mail column is telling me if I have any pending or dead mail. Now, pending and dead mail are values that we collect of mail that at any given instant in time when we do our scan are waiting to be routed, and then we give you a place where you can set up a threshold to compare that against, which should be the high end of the normal range. In fact, let's drill down. I've moved on to the server settings page, and then I'm on the scanning page of the Exchange settings. So all of these different columns here, and again, since most of you are customers, it's probably familiar to you, but some of you might be looking for the first time in your evaluators, and you were curious about the Exchange functionality we had. And keep an eye out for more detailed sessions where we'll go through all the basics, or again, contact us if you have some issues or some questions. So here we have, I don't know, 15 or 20 Exchange servers. Most of them are 2007, and these last couple are 2010 servers. We also have some conventional clustered servers that are clustered together, 4 servers in one large cluster, and of course the cluster column notes that. If we happen to open that up, you can see that we have both clusters set up here, and this one happens to be a DAG, and then we can set up the individual scanning intervals, all that good stuff for this, and then identify what servers are in that cluster and what kind of alert is issued if there's a DAG issue, and if that DAG warning comes and is resolved, then we have a reciprocal alert that would tell us what that DAG is back. It says default here. I don't really want to go into alerts right now, but behind here, I guess maybe we better just do it quickly, is a page where we set up a profile of all the different things we do in a particular alert condition. So we're not sending the default alert, we're rather using the default profile or the critical user alert or whatever profile that we want to happen to use. Okay? Again, most of you are customers, so you know how to set up the advanced settings where we can establish what Windows services we choose to want to monitor. And then, of course, I knew, by the way, that this is your 2007 and 2010 because of this column here. And then for the 2010 servers, I also further get to define what role those servers fulfill. So might be a little unusual in normal practice, but we have several different roles that this server is fulfilling. You probably would have separate servers for each of those in real practice. And then, but knowing when we set up what those roles are, we can establish what GSX Monitor should look for. In this case, this server is set up as a CAS server, so we're also doing various CAS checks of different connectivity methods. And in this case, we're doing Outlook web app to be able to connect to that server and make sure that that's working, because apparently people use this server to connect external to the company. If there is a CAS alert of some type, what type of alerts can we look for? Well, first of all, is the CAS functioning properly, and can we access it with the different methodologies we've flagged? And if it is or it is not, we can set up an alert, and again, we have that same alert profile concept where I can establish who we notify, how we notify, when we notify, and by what method we notify. And then if that alert is remediated, or that alert condition is remediated, we would send out normally a reciprocal alert of the same type. The next type of CAS alert we have is a threshold on the response time to do the for Outlook web app to access the server, and so we can establish a number of milliseconds that is tolerable, and obviously if we climb above that we might want to go into an alert condition. If we're below that, everything's fine and we just come back and do it again on the next cycle. And then the next alert type is if we want to set an alert if there are too many offline address books queued up. In other words, there's a latency and the offline address books are not being produced quickly enough and being pushed out and published out by the CAS. We would want to know that, and we would also again have that same alerting methodology so you could be notified. How do we connect to the server, whether we're using MAPI or we also have this small remote agent that allows us to limit the number of open ports. It's a very small agent that sits on the server so that GSX Monitor connects to that, and it's a way for you to limit the number of ports that are sitting out and open. Scanning frequency, again, most of the customers should know what that is. This is the number of minutes between scans, so we won't go through that again. And then the alerts that are issued if we have a down condition of some kind. So I'm going to come back here to the tree structure, and I'm going to go to Exchange Mail page. I mentioned back on the main view that we had this concept called pending and dead mail. And this is where you would establish a pending and dead mail threshold server by server. So again, this means that if I'm under 400 pending messages at any given instant when GSX Monitor connects and collects that value, that's fine. If I'm at 100, it's fine. If I'm at 200, it's fine. If I'm at 300, it's fine. I'm only going to go into an alert condition if I exceed 400, and I can even put in retry intervals so that I'm watching, and I don't alert you unless we stay above that value for a certain number of successive scans. We have a column here called mailbox alerts, and so this gives us some additional visibility of the mailbox role. So if the DAG server in the mailbox role is not being fulfilled, and that means cluster services, replay services, active manager, RPC listener, TCP listener, quorum group, all these different things are actually working in the background, and if they're not, and the mailbox role is not being fulfilled, we allow you to alert in a certain way. We also can allow you to do some management of your DB stores. So in this example, if I have a DB store that has more than 50% white space, if some threshold, whatever you put in here, we're going to issue that alert. And the idea here is that we make administrators aware when it's time to compact the DB store and to give you more free space. I can also give you an alert if the DB store grows above some certain size threshold that you define right here. Okay. And then, of course, since we're talking about a DAG so much, if there is a DAG, then there is a replication health alert that we establish so that if the DAG is not necessarily down, but certain aspects of it are down, we can issue a health alert saying that there's some sort of a warning condition that either replication is down or replication is in a warning state. Okay. Disk space threshold for Exchange, I'm back over here on the left. Maintenance intervals allows me to set up times when I don't want to be alerting, and categorization allows me to tag certain data elements when we get into the analyzer, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. We've gone pretty long here, so I want to wrap up, and I want to very quickly go over here to Exchange statistics. And here we see all of our Exchange servers, and I can look at any particular server. In this case, let's say we want to look at one of our mailbox servers. And here we see all the statistics about this server, the number of database copies, the number of mounted copies on this server, the number of healthy copies. I can see each database, what status it is on this server in case this one happens to be mounted, the other ones happen to be healthy, what is the state of the content, size, white space, number of mailboxes involved, average size, last log inspection, and last full backup. So it's sort of a clearinghouse to go look at everything in one place. So with that, I want to wrap things up for this time. Don't forget to go to the Video Center and watch for more of the What's New videos on version 10. We'll have more coming up about more Microsoft platforms, notably SharePoint we'll talk about. We'll also get into some of the new things in the Domino, same time 8.5, Quicker and Traveler worlds. Of course, BlackBerry Enterprise Server. There's already 5 videos about using GSX to monitor BlackBerry Enterprise Server, but we'll have to put a new one out because there's some new features in version 10. And also stay tuned to see what's new in the Analyzer, the powerful reporting tool that comes with GSX Monitor. And thanks for joining us.